The title is self-explanatory. AJ Terrell is nasty, makes big plays, doesn't allow completions, and has just been insane compared to his rookie season. Yeah, that's it for the intro, to be honest. What else do you want me to say? God, you guys are just so needy. But before I get into the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated, helps me out a lot, so help a man out. Now, let's get right into AJ Terrell and his absolutely dominant performance this year. AJ Terrell this season has been dominant. He's been targeted 31 times, has 6 pass breakups, is only allowing a 48.4 completion percentage, with 93 yards allowed and 1 touchdown, which came in week 9 against the Saints. No interceptions, but I mean, how can you expect to get interceptions when you are targeted less than 5 times a game? Even Jalen Ramsey's getting targeted more times a game. That has to show something. Speaking of those two corners, they're both in the top 4 in overall coverage grade on PFF. Terrell has a grade of 81.3 and an overall grade of 79.6, 4th amongst cornerbacks. Terrell has been locked down, not allowing anyone by him for deep plays, shutting down a whole side of the field, for the most part, whenever he is out there. Usually tackling well, but he does kind of have a high missed tackle percentage, and helping this Falcons defense be the 14th best passing defense in terms of passing yardage. But before week 10, it was 8th in the NFL. Thanks, Dallas, for ruining that part of my video. Nobody is getting by this guy. He's guarding every receiver like he's the big kid in backyard football. Absolute dominance. Most interesting about him, amongst all defenders in the NFL, all defenders, he's on the least amount of yards per target at 3.5, and the least amount of yards allowed among all qualifying cornerbacks. Terrell really has just been a top 10 cornerback this year, after a not-so-great rookie year. His rookie season, he allowed the second most catches in the league, and was targeted 3rd amongst cornerbacks, allowing 936 yards in 14 games. As said before, just compare that to his stats halfway through the year, and you can see that there's been some major progression on Terrell's side and the coaching staff. However, another corner from the 2020 draft class is on a similar path to AJ Terrell, and that is Trevon Diggs, obviously, who leads the league in interceptions, has made some spectacular plays for the Dallas Cowboys. But Diggs has also allowed the second most yards by a cornerback this year, at a terrible game against the Broncos in week 9, where he basically allowed 2 touchdowns, a PI in the end zone that led to a touchdown run, and a 44-yard touchdown to Tim Patrick. And some of his interceptions, like the one against Matt Ryan in week 10, just came off an underthrown ball that was not meant for the receiver Trevon was covering, so it just ended up in his hands. Diggs' coverage skills are not nearly on the same level as Terrell, like, not close. But, unlike Terrell, Diggs has an uncanny ability to create splash plays and turnovers for the defense. But with that, you get someone who allows a lot of yards. More than 6 times the amount AJ Terrell has allowed. The question really comes down to, do you want a lockdown corner that does not get a lot of interceptions? Or do you want someone average at coverage, but will give your offense the ball? Personally, I'm going with Terrell, at least in the long run, because I don't think this sort of turnover creation by Diggs is sustainable. I think Terrell's impact on shutting down your receiver may be more important than just getting interceptions, but also allowing a near perfect passer rating, 156.3 against the Broncos for Diggs, in other games. Saying that may be controversial because technically interceptions do have a larger impact because it most likely gives your offense the ball back with a short field, depending on where the interception took place, if there was a run back and how long. But that depends on your perspective on the defensive side of the ball, specifically defensive backs. My opinion, as I've made clear, is that I value the AJ Terrell type of corner rather than the Trevon Diggs type of corner. Now that I got that out of the way, back to AJ specifically. The Saints game in week 9 made me want to make this video. While he did allow his first touchdown this season, he still only allowed 3 out of 7 targets to be completed for 28 yards, with 3 pass deflections. So, let's take a look at some of these plays from week 9. So, I just want to let it be known before I get into this, film analysis is not my strong suit. I just want to try something new, so that's why I'm doing this. So, I'm sorry if I do kind of a poor job with this. So, this is a play where Kenny Stills lined up on the inside and AJ Terrell's guarding him. It's in the red zone, so the Saints want a touchdown, obviously. He's lined up very far off. He wants him to get a short gain, not anything deep, because, that'd be a touchdown almost. And I believe it's a zone coverage, based off how it goes later in the play in the current alignment, with the linebackers and the safety. And so if we start the play, Stills stays lined up deep, Right there, he gives him the outside leverage. He wants Stills cut to the outside. He wants to be isolated on an island, which I don't get because he has safety help over the middle. So I feel like he would rather play him towards the inside rather than the outside. But we'll just, as you could tell, this is going to go well. Simeon passes the ball. Terrell's right there. Stills did not beat him at all. It's a little tiny step, but it's very easy to recover in that situation. And ball goes right into Terrell. Great play by AJ. Now we're going to look at the end zone view of it. Now you can't really say AJ to start the play. You barely do, like right in the corner right there. Simeon snaps the ball, barely gets it, throws it. Look where Terrell is in comparison. I know it's blurry, but look where Terrell is in comparison to Stills. Stills kind of is open. If this was a better throw, that could have been a touchdown. But it was still great coverage by Terrell as he is able to easily make back his ground and stop the play. Great pass breakup by Terrell. Could have been an interception. And for the second play, we have this play where Terrell right here is guarding Tre'Quan Smith. So he starts off pressed, and he stays that way. He's very physical off the line of scrimmage. You can see him right there, push him to the inside. Smith wants to run an outside route. He's still pushing him. There's still contact up until about there. And Smith gets the release, is not open whatsoever. Simeon still throws this ball right into Terrell, where he gets the easy pass breakup. Now let's see from the end zone view. Simeon, play action. See Terrell right there. Still just so physical off the line of scrimmage. That's like really key in situations like this where you're pressed up. You want to be physical. There was honestly a hold on Smith maybe. Terrell with him the whole time. Not great throw by Simeon. There's nothing else he could have done there. It literally went right into Terrell's hand, because he, didn't catch it. But yeah, great play by Terrell. Honestly, nothing better you could do there, except, intercept the ball. And the final play I'm going to look at is when AJ Terrell is guarding Marquez Callaway on this play. So if you start off, you see AJ Terrell right there, shadowing Callaway, pressing on him. He's not really physical on this one, unlike the last one. Callaway looks like he's going down the field. Quickly cuts back. Right there, he has a minor step on Terrell, but the best thing about corners, one of the most important traits, is being able to break back to the ball when it's thrown. And Terrell does exactly that. Ball is thrown, and Terrell is right there. Gets his arm in, breaks it up. Easy pass breakup for Terrell. Callaway had no shot on that. Let's go to the end zone view. Starts off a little motion. Play action to Kamara. And look, right there. He has him beat minorly. I wouldn't even call that beat at all, honestly. Terrell just comes right back. Ball is thrown. Look where Terrell is. That's easy play for him. Hand right in there when Callaway tries to catch it. And rips it out of his hands. Out of bounds. Incomplete pass for the Saints. Great play by Terrell. But I just wish he could get an interception. He couldn't really on that one. But, he hasn't had one interception this year. He only had one last year. I don't know if he doesn't have good hands or if it just never comes to him. Because, he doesn't allow a lot of yards per target or per play. So, who cares when you do stuff like that? That's just one game from Terrell. And according to his passer rating allowed, that's his second worst, in quotes, game yet. He allowed a 43% completion percentage, but also had his second best PFF coverage grade in a single game of 77.6. So in conclusion, stats are just weird. But in general, that's what Terrell's been doing all year. Barely allowing his receiver to catch the ball, but also rarely being targeted because the guy he's covering just is not open. AJ Terrell is just nasty. That's the end of the story. It came out of nowhere as someone who is not a Falcons fan and only saw him as a bad corner last year. But he really has lived up to his first round price in the 2020 NFL Draft and beyond that. He's going to be a special lockdown type of corner for years to come for the Atlanta Falcons. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far into the video, come on now, just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes less than 2 seconds to do. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. Before I go, who do you think is better, AJ Terrell or Trevon Diggs? Has AJ surprised you this season as well? Comment your thoughts down below.